need to learn music theory? We're gonna talk about that in this video. It's coming up next. What's up guys, Lennon here with soundandpatternsmusic.com. I want to say thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time here, this channel exists to help you make better music and to make that music your business. I am in Richmond, Virginia right now at some little park, and hopefully the audio is okay. I'm having to use my camera since I'm on the road. I'm on tour with a band called Madison Ward and the Mama Bear, and we're playing here tomorrow night, so I'm having an off day. I thought it'd be cool to make a video about music theory and just how it might be able to help you as a musician or a producer, and whether or not it's really important to learn it inside and out. Music theory was one of those things that actually intimidated me for the longest time. It really wasn't until the last 5 or 6 years that I decided it was time for me to try and learn it. And hindsight's always 20/20. I really wish that I had learned it sooner, but when I'm asked whether or not you should learn music theory, there's really two sides to the coin. And I have friends that live on both sides. I have friends that know music theory extensively and they write these amazing songs, and then friends that don't know any theory at all and still write incredible music. So the question really becomes, how many tools do you want in your toolbox, and will those tools actually become a help or a hindrance? Now the reason I say hinder or help you is because if you're anything like me, you can see rules as opportunities to see yourself as doing something wrong. And so that's why I didn't really get into learning any music theory until later on. But I am gonna go over 3 ways that music theory has helped me and that it continues to help me, even having just a basic knowledge. And then you can choose for yourself whether or not you want to use it. It's really something that I feel like you can work without, but here's a few things that have actually helped me along the way. Now the place that I use music theory the most, and this probably isn't surprising, is when I'm writing. So if I'm working on new music, I'll tend to use theory usually as kind of a secondary process to an idea. So let's say I've started a new idea and I don't necessarily know where to go next, then I'll jump into some theory techniques that I've learned, things that can be used as, you know, simple exercises to kind of push you in a new direction. Having that knowledge has really helped me to get over some writer's block ideas. But then I'll say that you don't necessarily need that. If you have enough knowledge of chords and just getting around certain progressions, then the knowledge of music theory isn't necessary, but it's definitely a bonus. So the second way that I use music theory is in a band setting. So believe it or not, even as a drummer, it's valuable to know your basic chord patterns using more than Nashville style. So your 1-4-5-1. You've probably heard people talk about that if you've looked into music theory at all. So knowing how to talk to other instrumentalists in a band setting is really helpful, because if you're working on an arrangement, you can say, hey, when you go to the 4 chord in the verse, you know, then I'd like to try to do this thing, or what do you think about adding a riff there? It's just another level that allows you to speak a little clearer and be more efficient in what you're trying to get across, which I think is really cool. Again, this is not necessary, and I know amazing drummers that don't know any theory. I actually know amazing guitar players that don't know any theory. You know, same could be said for all instrumentalists, but it can be helpful in saving that extra little bit of time in a rehearsal scenario. And then the last place that I end up using theory the most is in a production setting. So if I'm working with a band or something, knowing that style of language and being able to communicate it with other musicians that know that style of language and are trying to communicate that with you as a producer can really make all the difference in, again, expediting the process. So again, you're seeing that knowing theory really has nothing to do with being the right or the wrong thing. It's really about just having another tool that can potentially expedite all of your processes depending on where you're at. So if you're looking for a quick way to sort of start learning, maybe for instance the Nashville style 1-4-5-1 progression language, there's a great app called Chord Prog that I just found out about. So what this app does is allow you to go in and play it as a game. So you listen and you decide which chord you're actually listening to, and it's really fun. You have a high score, you can then listen to other songs and decide what the progressions are within that song, and that helps a lot. So that's a practical way to kind of just get started, and I would just suggest that you have fun with it. Don't treat it as something that has to be done. Only learn it if it's something that you want to do. Otherwise, it's just going to end up slowing you down, frustrating you, and really keeping you from doing your best work. So I hope that this helps today. If you dig this style of content, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.